Well, what's up, guys? I'm trying to get the plow hooked up today because I want to do some work to it. The goal is to get the cutting edges taken off. I have one of the edges over there. I'm just looking to get it taken off today. It's actually kind of late in the day. It's almost 3 o'clock already. Anyway, I got my ballast in the truck. I'm going to show you the problem in a second here. It's actually starting to look like a plow truck from the back. The back end sitting real low. I actually like the look of that. The front sits up higher than the back now. I like when it's like that. Got 1,000 pounds of 2A stone in the back. With this, I figured that would be cleaner than sand. And if I ever get stuck, that'll make great traction. So yeah, it's sitting a little bit low. And on the front, sitting a little bit high. Anyway, the last time I parked it, it was set perfect height for the truck. Well, now the front's up about probably 3 or 4 inches higher than it was before, and I'm gonna have to jack up the. Actually, maybe not. No, actually, I won't. But anyway, the frame's too low. I just gotta pull it forward, and it should lift it up. You're right. This is how the truck sits, loaded with ballast and loaded with the plow. It's about 1,000 pounds in the back. Oh, the front sits so much better. And I still have my jack down too. And, wow, there's so much. You would not believe the difference between the weight in the back and the no weight. I mean, before, that was almost dragging. Now it's a good bit of distance between it. And before, the back was almost, could barely see over the tailgate. Alright, what I'm doing right now is raising the plow up. Let me put it straight. Or semi-straight anyway. So I want to be able to get access at these bolts. Ooh, that's close. Might actually have to put it in V. Alright, YouTube, we're back. The GoPro died in the middle of filming, so I had to charge it for a little while. Here's the progression of taking the cutting edge off. I have the plow up holding it. I have 2 jack stands under it. I half released the pressure from the truck. There's still a little, it's still holding it partly, but they're holding a lot of it. I have those 2 blocks underneath just in case everything else would drop. That would keep it from coming all the way down. It'd come down a couple inches, but it wouldn't go down all the way. Definitely want to have backup for if you're working under something heavy. That goes the same for having guns. You want to have the backup to your backup to your backup. Anyway, that's the bolt I got out. It's super hot. Had to use the torch to get it loose. They're super rusty. Torch and WD-40 usually gets anything loose. Or you could have a really long pipe. The bolts are in a terrible position underneath, so you almost have to be in a dangerous spot with the plow. There's no real way to get it from a real safe place. So definitely have some jack stand under that thing. So I have 4 more bolts to come out on one side, another 4 for this side. Alright, progression number 2. Got that bolt out. I accidentally skipped that one. I have a quick question for y'all that plow. Do you use these? They're the little round things. I forget what they're called. Skid plates, maybe? Do you use those when you're plowing? And if so, why or why not? I'm just curious because it came with them, but the guy had them off. He didn't like them on. I'm just curious as to why you'd have them on or why you'd have them off. So if you guys could let me know in the comments, I'd appreciate it. Look who's back. It's the tree service. Wonder what they're doing. I thought they already took care of all that. It's a nice trailer though, and a nice truck. Oh, let's get back to what I was doing. Got the 3rd bolt out, but I can't get the nut out of the socket. So I gotta try to beat it out. It's that rusty. I had to pound it on. I can't get it off now. Alright, here's what the new cutting edge is going to look like. It just needs painted black. I knew when I bought it that it was for a 9-foot plow, or maybe a 9.6. I'm not sure what it was for. But I'm just gonna take the grinder, cut that down to size. A few of the holes need re-drilled, not an issue at all. Have a bit that'll cut right through all that. And I got a new edge, and I got that edge for $70. That's why I bought it, knowing that I would have to do a little bit of modification. But $70 versus like $200-300. I mean, yeah, I'm willing to do a little work to it. And even up here might have to be cut a little bit because it wasn't for this kind of plow. It was for a bigger plow. But grinder, you can fix stuff, so that shouldn't be an issue. Right there's a little rubber flap that goes in there. Right here was the old cutting edge. Not even remotely close, probably a fourth as heavy as that one. It was not that much smaller. And the reason why is that one's a 1/2 inch thick. And I think this one is like 3/8 or a quarter. Probably 3/8. Right, YouTube, it is now Tuesday. I don't remember where I left off yesterday. I got that cutting edge off. I have my new cutting edge here. I need to cut it right where that mark is. I went out and got the grinder discs, so I'll get that done. Now I just need to grab the grinder. Alright, let's do this. Apparently it's not plugged in inside. I got the camera back on my head. Right, because this was a bigger cutting edge than the one I had on last. This is a 9-foot. I have to cut the corner right here so it'll match up with the old one. This is too steep of an angle, which isn't an issue, so I got the grinder. Well, there goes one cutting edge. Time for the second. That 1/2 inch thick steel. I'll put a wall up on these grinder discs. Alright, we're getting some progression going here. Look how much longer this new cutting edge is versus this one. And this one's only, this is a 1/2 inch thick. This one is, I'm trying to think. I can't, mind blank. 3/8. This one's 3/8. This one's 1/2. So it's, something happened here. It's an inch short. I don't really care. It's not that big of an issue. It's on the end. That is perfect. Lines perfectly up with the existing one on there, so that's pretty cool. The only thing is, those are the 2 holes that work. Have to drill these, but that's not an issue. I tried that yesterday. Got a really sharp bit. That bit just smoked through all these holes. I mean, that was probably just less than a minute since I filmed the last clip. All right, I just got this bit out of the sharpener. It's gonna go right through. I mean, that's just cutting like it's... I sharpened every bit I've used so far. I mean, just cutting this like it's butter. I do have the plow up now. Set that under it just in case. Just in case, you don't always want to be safe. Anyway, I'm now using the cord, the electric drill. I was using the cordless. I much prefer using cordless, because you actually can break your wrists on these. It's much more difficult on the cordless because the chucks are worse and they just don't have as much power. I mean, this thing will break your wrist like it's nothing. Alright, so here's the finished product for today anyway. About a 2-inch gap on that side. Alright, got the cutting edge cut. Have it leaning up against the plow here. It's right about the perfect length, and it's pouring obviously. So whenever it stops raining, I just need to get that bolted on. Get the old one off first. As you notice, something went wrong there. I might cut a piece and weld it in. We'll see. But I'm getting out of the rain. Alright, so I just took the truck out for a quick drive with the plow on. It's the first time I really did that. I took it out, I was going about 45. I had the blade straight first. I'm just testing to see if it's gonna overheat. And had the blade straight, went a couple miles. It didn't overheat. On the way back, it maybe got like 5 degrees warmer than it normally does, which is absolutely no big deal. Then I put the plow in V, actual V, not scoop, and it started to overheat. So I pulled into the nearest neighborhood, stopped it for about 30 seconds, went right back down. Then I put it in scoop, actual scoop, because that would shoot more air back into the grill because the sides are higher than the middle. It didn't overheat like that, but it's pushing a lot of air like that, so it travels less comfortably, I would say. But yeah, overall the truck rode really nice with the plow on. I'm sure the ballast in the back helps a lot. You gotta give it a lot more gas pulling out and a lot more brake stopping, because right now I have about 2,000 pound add-on in the truck, counting the plow and the ballast, so it rides a little heavier right now. Alright guys, it is actually Christmas Eve today. Finishing up the plow. It's been like a 3-day project. Anyway, this bolt stripped out, so I have no choice but to cut it off with the grinder. Alright, I cut it off. I just need something small that I can whack it out with, like another bolt. It'll come out. Let's raise the plow. Plow won't go up high enough to get that one out. Don't raise or lower your plow without the truck running, because it will kill your battery. Now I'm jump starting it, and as you can see, very little room, and I have short jumper cables. So neither of the negatives are hooked up, they're just hooked to the vehicles. I'll check. I got both the positives hooked up, but barely. It is getting a little juice, but not enough to start up, so I'm gonna let it sit a little bit. Alright guys, I finished up the plow here. Got the new cutting edge installed. We'll basically finish it up. I need a new bolt for there, and there, and there. That one won't tighten up because it's all rusted up. So I need to get a few new bolts. That's not a big deal. I did cut it too short here. I might cut a piece and weld it in. I don't think it's that big of an issue personally, so I'm probably not going to do it. The new cutting edge is very thick and very heavy duty, so there's a good bit of space between here and the road. And it's not sitting completely perfect on the road. That's because the road's just slanted down. So there's a gap where it can scoop. But yeah, I did get the truck started. I had to get a friend to come over with a jumper. because my jumper cables weren't long enough. And the ballast in the back here. I think it's doing pretty good. The truck actually rides really smooth, surprisingly. I'm sure that has a lot to do with it.